I gotta hear it again today.
From the Palace in Hollywood, California, MTV presents the La Bamba Rock and Roll Review, an all-star show celebrating the premiere of La Bamba, sponsored in part by Coca-Cola Classic. Coming up in the next 60, we're going to rock the joint, baby, with live performances from Los Lobos, Brian Setzer, Bo Diddley, Marshall Crenshaw, Howard Huntsberry. I'm Wolfman Jack, and I'll be your master of ceremonies for this evening's entertainment. But right now, let's turn it over to your host, Mark Goodman.
All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome to the La Bamba Rock and Roll Review. What is La Bamba? Who is Richie Valens? And what was rock and roll like in the 50s? I promise you this. During the course of this night, you're going to get the answer to all of those questions. Now, the stars of the evening pulled up just a couple of moments ago in some mighty fine machines. Lou Diamond Phillips, who plays Richie Valens in La Bamba, pulled up in a cherry red Chevy lowrider, while his romantic interest, Donna, a.k.a. Danielle von Zerneck, arrived in a mint black Thunderbird. Los Lobos, who did the soundtrack, motored up in their own fleet of classic automobiles, while Brian Setzer chose to show up solo on a vintage Indian motorcycle. And a crowd of VIPs made their way from the premiere to the Palace for a night of live rock and roll. Now, speaking of live rock and roll, let's go right on down to the stage and find out from our MC, Wolfman Jack, what is happening tonight.
Thank you, good-looking Mark Goodman. You know, back in the 50s, rock and roll bands traveled in caravans, and when you went to see a live show, you saw not one or two bands, you saw as many as 8 or 9. Now, tonight, we've got an 80s version of that kind of show right here at the Palace in Hollywood. I'm backstage right now, and back there, they got Marshall Crenshaw's equipment, and just behind his is Brian Setzer's gear. And then we've got some mics set up for Howard Huntsberry, who plays Jackie Wilson in the film La Bamba. And in the very back, we got equipment for Los Lobos with an extra amp for Bo Diddley, of course. Who says they don't make rock and roll shows the way they used to, huh?
Hey, we are going to take a shot at it tonight. I can promise you that, Wolfman. Now, besides a lot of great live rock and roll that we got for you tonight, you're going to get the chance to meet the stars of the film La Bamba, including this gentleman here with me right now. It is Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou plays Richie Valens in La Bamba. So it must have been a pretty exciting thing for you to portray this guy. How did you go about sort of getting into the role?
Well, of course, the film takes place in 1958 when Richie's heyday was. I had to learn how to play the guitar, of course, traveling back in time, getting very used to the music, wearing the clothes, the hairstyles. It was all sort of an immersion in 1958, the birth of rock and roll. It was a wonderful trip.
And what about the music for it? How did you go about recreating that for the film?
Well, you know, Los Lobos, of course, performed Richie's music in the film, and they'd been involved since day one. So as soon as I was cast, Luis Valdez, the director, gave me a Walkman. I walked around 24 hours a day with that. Played the guitar until 1 or 2 in the morning. Just got inside the rock and roll, and I was the one up on stage performing, and it was electric.
And I guess you'll be forming a band now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Lou and the Diamond Tones, that's it.
We'll be looking for the video, folks. Now, the film just had its official Hollywood premiere tonight, and what we're going to do for you right now is show you how they brought the life of this rock and roll legend to the silver screen.
In 1959, Bob Dylan was a high school junior in Hibbing, Minnesota.
I remember Richie, yeah. I saw him do one of his last shows. You know?
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about him, man? Was he any good?
Was he good? Oh, yeah, he was good, yeah.
For a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid.
For anybody.
In 1959, Bryan Adams wasn't even born.
This guy was 17 years old, and he had 3 huge hits in 8 months. By today's standards, if you were 17 and you had 3 hits, I mean, you'd be well over the top. But it's funny, you put La Bamba on today to dance, and people still go wild to it. It's timeless music.
Here's a bit of a rattlesnake.
It's not only phenomenal that in 8 months he was able to record 3 hits in a row, Come On, Let's Go, to Donna, to La Bamba, but that he was able to tap something that was part of the national spirit. He became part of the history of rock and roll, and he died with 2 other heroes of rock and roll, Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper. the day the music died.
Well, La Bamba is one of the, I'd say, 5 to 10 greatest rock and roll songs ever recorded, and it is truly an international hit. Anywhere you go in the world, they know La Bamba, the song. But they may not know Ritchie Valens. And when you see this film, it is a film about a family, and that's why I think it's universal. If you don't like rock and roll, I think you still like La Bamba, because there's a story here. It's about a family trying to make it in America.
All our dreams are gonna come true, Muse. I just know it.
Hey, hey, baby, baby, tell me you love me, that you were always thinking of me.
Well, it looked like a whole lot of fun making that movie, and it looked like, I guess for you, a kind of a dream role. Was it as much fun for you to do La Bamba as it looked?
Absolutely. I have to say it was like a first love. There'll never be another role like Ritchie, and very proud, very honored to be a part of this film. I think the rest of the country will fall in love with Ritchie, too.
All right, and a great job. Lou Diamond Phillips, who plays Ritchie Valens in La Bamba. I think it's pretty safe to say that once everybody gets a look at this movie, there is going to be a lot of people around this country who are going to know who Ritchie Valens was. Now, it was just about 10 years ago that the Buddy Holly story brought another rock and roll legend to the attention of a whole new generation, and playing the role of Buddy Holly in La Bamba, Marshall Crenshaw. And it happens that Marshall is just about ready to kick off tonight's rock and roll review, so let's go down to the stage and get things rocking.
Rock and roll.
And we're going to get things right underway, get them started right now with the guy who plays Buddy Holly in La Bamba. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Marshall Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Crying, waiting, hoping you come back. I just can't seem to get you off my mind. Crying, waiting, hoping you come back. You're the one I love, and I think about you all the time. Crying, do-do-do, my tears keep falling all night long. Wait, do-do-do, seems so useless, I know it's wrong. Keep crying, wait, hoping you come back. Maybe someday soon things will change and you'll be mine. Ow, ow, ow. Thank you. Came into my life like a bombshell. One look and I fell for little Mary Jean, Mary Jean, Mary Jean. She walked cool with her head always held high. Glow in her eyes made her look like a queen, a little queen.
right. Marshall Crenshaw doing something from his new album, by the way, something brand new from the upcoming record. Gary Busey has joined us here, Lou Diamond Phillips and me, and we're partying. Now, you played Buddy Holly.
That's right.
About 10 years ago.
About 10. Yeah,
and
about 10 years ago.
I think
flies, right?
Who better to ask than you two? Why do you think it's important to make movies like this, movies about rock and roll legends like this?
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me. I found myself coming to this just to see the movie, and then as I got closer, it became real special to me. I was telling Lou that things like this for us, like we're in an elite fraternity, these kind of things only happen for the first time once. And I was just telling him how special this night is, and it reverberates like 9 years ago to me, and it's the love we had making the movie.
I'm guessing that you both wound up being fans of the respective stars that you were sort of portraying as you were doing this.
Yeah, it is an honor.
There's going to be a whole lot more live rock and roll coming up here, so I don't want anybody to move. That's you guys either, okay?
I did too much
Stick
talking.
around. More live rock and roll coming up, including Brian Setzer next.
Weekends, days off, don't wanna work no more. Gonna take my time now that it's mine, and I don't wanna be where there's no Coca-Cola. This is the life, these are the real things. You're the heart of it, every day, every way. Coca-Cola's a part of your life. Oh, when Coca-Cola's a part of your life, you can't beat the feeling.
One love, get closer. Introducing Close-Up's refreshing new paste. Get closer.
When you're closer, that's when closer comes. White and cheap and a fresh mouth. It's the nicest thing that you can do. Do it for me, and I'll do it for you. One love, get closer.
Now in paste and in gel.
All right, we are just about ready to go back to the stage for some live music from Brian Setzer. Gary Busey is here with us. What we're going to do now, Gary, you saw the movie tonight, and what we're about to do is show America a little bit of the clip from the movie. This is a scene where Richie goes downstairs into this recording studio and has his first recordings. So we'll look at that.
Welcome to Delphi Records. I work out of the basement.
This is your recording studio?
The Ampex is good, the mics are excellent. What more do you need? Relax, Richie. This is just for starters. Now, I thought we'd start off easy. Play a few riffs, move on to a couple of vocals, nothing heavy, and then when you're ready, we'll record a little, okay?
What, you mean today? What about my band?
Well, frankly, Richie, I can't use any of them. Is that a problem?
Yeah. They're my buddies. Thank you. Excuse me.
Well, wait, Richie. Wait a minute, man. Look, I understand about friendship, but I'm being honest here. Not everybody in this world gets a shot at the brass ring. You're gonna have to ask yourself what's more important, your friends or your music.
My family.
All right, a pretty important line, I think, about Richie Valens. The family's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Now, we're here with Gary Busey. Now, 10 years ago, you did the Buddy Holly story. You had the chance to study the same group of people at the same time, the same music. How close to, from what you know, how close to fact is La Bamba?
Well, I don't know how close it is in a historical thing or chronological order or anything like that. But what I got out of it was the love the families had for each other, and the music kind of glued that all together. And especially in this movie, Buddy Holly's story was about Buddy Holly and his band. This was an entire family and culture, and that you saw go with ups and downs and how they struggled together to make this one thing happen. I thought it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
And in that way, definitely real close to fact. Now, there was another rock and roll legend who appears in La Bamba. Eddie Cochran is the guy I'm talking about, and when the producers actually went to cast Eddie Cochran, they made like the perfect choice for one of the original guitar heroes. So
that's right. Eddie was one of this guy's heroes, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Why don't we go down to the stage now, and you'll see who it is that we're talking about cast as Eddie Cochran in this movie.
Well, is everybody ready for a nervous breakdown? Do you think you're ready for some real good times? How about you guys sitting in the balcony? Come on, everybody. Put your hands together and welcome a surefire cure for those summertime brews. Everybody, here's Brian Setzer. Yeah, come on, baby.
I'm gonna raise a fuss, I'm gonna raise a holler. About working all summer just to try to earn a dollar. Every time I call my baby, try to get a date. Says no die, son, you gotta work late. Sometimes I wonder I'm gonna do. There ain't no cure for the summertime. Told me, son, you gotta make some money. Well, if you wanna use a car to ride in the sun. Well, I didn't go to work, told the boss I was sick. You can't use a car cause you didn't work there. Sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do. There ain't no cure for the summertime blues. Well, that's right. Vacation. I'm gonna take my problem to the United Nations. Well, I called my congressman, he said, oh, not to help you, son, but you chew your hunger. There ain't no cure for the summertime blues. Well, that's what I say.
All right, we are going to be back with more from Brian Setzer as the La Bamba Rock and Roll Review rolls on.
Here at World Export Ramona, where you still get the best of both worlds. That's right, we've got over $6 million of new cars, trucks, and vans, and they gotta go, and that's where I come in. Plus, we've got all new parts and service department, and Dad, that's where you come in.
That's right, Will. Factory-trained mechanics and state-of-the-art equipment produce outstanding service on all models of Ford cars and trucks, plus all other domestic makes. And we have an outstanding new paint and body shop. In addition, we have a complete parts department for you do-it-yourselfers. Everything from motor oil to spark plugs, plus Ford's all-new line of high-performance parts. And both the service and parts departments are open every Tuesday night till 9 p.m.
Hey, thanks, Dad. And don't forget, here at World Ford in Ramona, you can buy any new Ford, car, truck, or van with no money down and no payment till 1988. Hey, Dad, who loves you, baby?
You drive a little further, we'll give a little more. At Wilnex Ford, 611 East Holt Avenue in Pomona.
And away they go. Friendly Natalie broke well, Radiant Glory. Now here comes Victoria Port to go to the lead with Gold and Snow. On the outside, Dawn of Glory and Time Called. Mishkari now going quickly. Mishkari getting up fourth. To Be Impressive is only 4 lengths off the lead at the Rail Bank Messenger.
Dodger Vision, make the call.
Juvenile diabetes is not just for kids. It can strike anyone at any age.
I know. I have diabetes.
And insulin is not a cure.
I know. I have diabetes.
Juvenile diabetes increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, and is a leading cause of blindness.
I know. I have diabetes.
It's time we gave diabetes our best shot, a cure. Support the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. Help us find a cure for the 3rd largest killer disease.
What would you pay for a product so simple any youngster can operate? It slices it, Julienne's. Yes, overnight, bring your favorite music at home. Reduces pain and neuritis and neuralgia. So the new store back now. This is the personal talking model. Void prohibited by law. Operators are standing by.
All right, let's get back to Brian Setzer on stage.
Well, thank you very much. Well, it was a great pleasure to play the late, great Eddie Cochran in the movie La Bamba. And I'd like to send this song out to Sharon and Sharon Sheely and Mrs. Alice Cochran. For Reveline. 1, 2,
3. in 49 days of a sold-out American tour. Well, the show was so thrilling that she sold 50 million. She won all the music awards, but she could sing like a guitar. She's country, but she ain't okay. Born to be a hard rockin' hellraiser, hillbilly queen. Oh, Reveille, Reveille, why do you treat your enemy? Can't you hear me when I scream? Reveille, Reveille, oh, Reveille, Reveille, can't you treat your enemy? Can't you hear me when I scream? Reveille, Reveille, yeah. Thank you very much. God bless. Have a good night now.
All right, Mark Goodman here on location in Hollywood for the La Bamba Rock and Roll Review. Now, we just saw Brian Setzer on stage, and we've got a whole lot more live music in store for you tonight. But right now, a whole bunch of special guests. Let's see, Roy, I feel like I should have each person introduce themselves. Now, you probably recognize Roy Orbison, Tito,
Hi.
Charlie.
Hello.
And I'm Charlie from the Cruzados.
And the first thing I should probably ask Roy now, Richie Valens is pretty important. If you look back and think like what his contribution to music was, could you sort of capsulize it?
About all I can say was his contribution as far as I was concerned. You know, I was good friends with Buddy Holly, and he and I were sort of competitors, and he shot out of sight and went to #1 long before I made it. And then Richie had a fast tune on one side of a record and a slow one on the other, and they were both wonderful and beautiful. So kind of like he set everything up for me. That's the way I like to do things, you know.
Now, these days there seems to be a lot of people paying attention to sort of nostalgic rock and roll, what we're calling roots rock and roll. Did any of you guys ever think, God, I wish that I was playing like when Roy was playing, when Richie was playing?
All the time. I think that about every day.
I wish I was playing with Roy when he had his band.
Exactly. I just wish I could play.
All right, one of the great things about La Bamba is that Richie Valens isn't the only rock and roll legend in this film. You also see Buddy Holly, you see Eddie Cochran, and you see Jackie Wilson. And the guy who does Jackie Wilson is called Howard Huntsbury. He does an unbelievable Jackie Wilson. So next in our rock and roll review, let's go down to the stage right now and join Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, baby.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're all pacing yourself tonight because we got a whole lot of live music here for you. And we're going to be rocking and rolling all night long. So for heaven's sakes, be careful, will you please? You know, there aren't too many voices in rock and roll that are instantly recognizable. But Jackie Wilson's voice was always instantly recognizable. And coming up next in the La Bamba Rock and Roll Review, the man who plays Jackie. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Huntsbury.
All right, now if you have ever heard Jackie Wilson sing, then you can definitely appreciate Howard Huntsberry. The guy is unbelievable. It's like scary. He sounds so much like Jackie Wilson. Now when you see La Bamba, I know you're going to appreciate this gentleman's performance. This is Isai Morales, who plays Richie Valens' brother, Bob, in the movie. And this is Bob.
The real thing.
This is the man. I don't think there's anybody better in the whole country to ask this question to. How did he do?
Wonderful.
Hey. You think he did a good job?
Did a beautiful job.
You think the way that he portrayed you, the things that happened in the movie, were they real? Was that what you were like when you were a kid?
99% 9.
It was the real thing. All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do is we'll show a little piece from the film. We're going to take a look at a scene now where Richie and you go down into, you're in the recording studio, and he is advised to change his name. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more with Isai Morales.
Nice work, Richie. 60 takes, man, huh? How's the throat? I think we got it. All in all, we got it.
60 takes. I didn't hear a difference in one of them, man.
Look, I'm ready to go home, man.
Sure. I want to discuss one thing with you, okay? Come here.
What is it?
Your professional name. From now on, it's Richie with a T. R-I-T-C-H-I-E. I got a new last name for you, too. Valens with an S. Richie Valens. How's that grab you?
I don't like it.
That's for man. I mean, Valenzuela was our dad's last name. You can't just cut it in half.
It's no big deal. People in this business, they change their names like they change wives. Even me. My last name is Kuhn. Look, trust me on this one.
Just go. Thanks.
But look, it could have been worse. You could have been Ricky Zuela.
All right. Isai, do you think that you had an easier job than Lou did in terms of putting on a character? You had to portray somebody who was alive, somebody who you could work with, somebody you could get stories from. Was it easier for you, or you think more difficult because he was right there over your shoulder looking at you?
Well, I have to say it's quite intimidating for many actors to have the real personality there because, you know, it's very difficult to really get into someone who's so specific and so alive as Bob is. But I think Lou did a wonderful job, and he had just as much of a challenge in a different way, kind of like lemons and oranges situation. He had to work a lot on concentration and things, and he really had the liberty with Richie Valens. He didn't have to necessarily, you know, imitate him. So I think it really works out quite equally. But I'm really proud of Lou's work, and I'm glad that Bob feels I did him justice.
We got a lot more stuff coming up, a lot more music coming up, especially from Los Lobos, who did the music for the film. They're coming up on stage in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Around the clock, the music never stops. MTV Music Television.
Hi, Van.
You look gorgeous.
Thanks.
I missed you.
So how come you weren't at the airport?
I didn't know if you wanted to see me or not.
Here. Van, let's take things a little slower this time.
Okay. Let's take it from the beginning. Hi. I'm Ben. You can't beat the feeling.
Roger Clemens plays in Pumas, and the man can throw strikeouts. Hey, baby, did anybody ever tell you how beautiful? But you don't have to be Roger Clemens to throw strikeouts. Marcus Allen plays in Pumas. The man is cool. Hey, you don't have to be Marcus Allen to be cool.
But it helps.
Yo, Marcus.
When your TV needs a bill of mental service, you can see a quarter something special come on after MTV. We brighten up your picture and we send you on your way. So don't forget to turn to us, MTV Today.
Marshall Crenshaw is here, Brian Setzer, and one smelly cigar. Phew. First I gotta ask Brian about the bike that you rode up on tonight.
Oh, that's a 48 Indian Chief, an Indian.
That's yours?
That's mine. It's like a Harley, but it's not. It's an Indian.
And it happens to be like exactly like the one that's in the film, doesn't it? Just about?
Yeah, pretty much like the one in the film. It is. I think this is like an early 40s. Mine's a 48.
It looks beautiful too.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Runs great. So it's the only thing, the best thing a man could ask in a motorcycle. It's great.
Brian's got a nice car too.
Well, I made two good things I ever bought in my life were a '56 Chevy and my Indian. And
now, Marshall, you played Buddy Holly in the film, but you're not new to acting.
You don't think
Correct?
so, huh?
You're not new to acting. Now I know you've acted before.
Yeah, something like that.
Are you looking to get into acting, or is this just a one-off?
Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of both. I mean, I'm not going to deliberately pursue it because I just don't feel inclined to, but it was really fun and it's a good hang, and I would do it again if asked. Wouldn't you?
No.
No, okay, well, I would.
No, I kind of feel the same way about it. No, I do. It was
really
fun. It was fun to like portray one of the heroes, but it'd be weird to do somebody else.
The food was really good too, on movie sets. Usually they have really great food.
Well, I think that's really why everybody gets into the film business, because the catering is so incredible.
Yeah.
The fact is now what we're going to do is head down to the stage and get into the people who were responsible for much of the soundtrack to La Bamba. Of course, I'm talking about Los Lobos, and by the way, they are going to be joined a little bit later on by Bo Diddley.
Bo Diddley.
And Roy Orbison's here.
Yeah.
And Gary Busey's here.
Let's welcome the guys who put the bite into La Bamba. Los Lobos, everybody.
Gets a fall inside the trees, shakes the leaves all night, shakes it through the mountains. Shakes it through the night, shakes it through the moon above, then it starts to shine. Lord, it makes me tremble. Lord, it makes me tremble. Shake it, 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 baby, shake it, shake it, shake it. Valley, long as it is me, starts to tear into the earth, gets all in between. Shakes it through the mind, shakes it through the night, shakes it through the moon above, then it starts to shine. Lord, it makes me tremble. Lord, it makes me tremble. When she starts to dance that way, she shakes the boys all up. She shakes it through the mind, she shakes it through the night, she shakes it like a hurricane, gives the blind sight. And now she makes me tremble. Now she makes me tremble. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Shake it, 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 baby. Shake it, shake it, shake it.
Here comes Bo Diddley to join Los Lobos.
Barbed wire, scope take for a necktie. Got a brand new house on the roadside. Made from how to stay high. Got a brand new template made on top, made out of a human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, honey. Tell me, who do you love? Who do you love? Who do you love? Who do you love? Baby, tell me, who do you love? you should have heard just what I see. Who do you love? Who do you love? Who do you love? Baby, tell me, who do you love?
We'll see you later. Thanks a lot.
All right. I gotta tell you, what a way to wind up a La Bamba Rock and Roll Review and with the guys who made the music from the film. So I'm here with Wolfman Jack, the first time we've been together tonight.
I know, it's great being with you too, Mark.
This is great. Now, you have seen some great rock and roll reviews. How did this one shape up tonight?
Well, you know, I used to work for Alan Freed back in the Brooklyn Paramount days when I was a little kid, about 14 years old. And they used to create great excitement, man, but I think we got it back again. I think it's here again, and that thrills me to death. You know what I mean?
I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Ow! Mark Goodman with the Wolfman.
We love you. Lay your hand on the television, baby. We love you.
Buenas noches y vaya con Dios.
Bye, everybody.
Hey!